The businesses should focus on the customer's perspectives. So, what does he need? What is his expectation from the business? And based on that, we should do the business. The infrastructure perspective is intricately divided into four components, namely information technology, human capital, strategic alignment, and culture. So, employee satisfaction measures how content or fulfilled employees feel in their roles within the organization. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. I welcome you all to this session. In this session 3 of Unit 5, we will be having some more discussions on CRM planning and implementation. Now, let us discuss who is a customer. So, by focusing on customers' perspectives, businesses can understand how well they are meeting customer expectations, fostering loyalty, and delivering the value. So, the businesses should focus on the customer's perspectives. So, what does he need? What is his expectation from the business? And based on that, we should do the business. This enables the organization to make informed decisions and improvements to enhance overall customer experience and strengthen their competitive position in the market. So, when we have this informed decisions, so when we know exactly what the customer wants, so then it will be helping us in taking proper decisions to enhance overall customer experience. So, what is it we can do to enhance the overall customer experience? Strengthen their competitive position in the market. When we know exactly what the customer expects, then we will be giving them whatever he expects, and in this way, we will be strengthening the competitive position of the company in the market. The evaluation criteria within this category includes customer loyalty, retention, and organization's perceived value. So, in this, what are the various criteria we are having here? So, first one is the customer loyalty, second one is retention of the customer, and third one is organization's perceived value. So, these aspects are explained in the following. So, in this, the first one is customer loyalty. So, loyal customers tend to choose a particular brand over others, and they may also recommend it to others. So, loyal customers are there. So, they will be choosing a particular brand over others, and they'll also recommend it to their friends and relatives. Monitoring customer relationships helps businesses to gauge the strength of the customer relationships and the likelihood of repeat business. So, when you keep a tab on the customer relationships, you will be able to understand what is the strength of the customer to the business, and also what is the likelihood of the business getting a repeat business from the customer. Second one is retention. It is about keeping customers from switching to competitors. High retention rate generally indicates satisfied customers, while low retention rate may signal issues that need attention. So, retention means once the customer becomes a customer, so you try to see that he remains in your business only. So, he does not go anywhere else. So, if we have a high retention rate, it means that whatever products you are offering, the customer is satisfied with it. But if there is a lot of customers are leaving you, then it means that something is wrong with the business. Then, third one is the perceived value. It explores the customer's perception of the value they receive from the organization. It goes beyond the actual cost of the product or services and includes factors such as quality, customer service, and overall satisfaction. So, what do we mean by value? value is something which is in excess. So the price of the product is what is the money we are paying in order to become the owner of the product. But then in addition to becoming the owner of the product, there are certain other values. So what are the other values here? It is the quality the customer expects from that particular brand. Then the customer service, how they are giving the customer services, and the overall satisfaction the customer gets by owning that particular brand of the product. Then the next one is the procedure. So within this category, diagnostic factors encompass customer acquisition, retention, and expansion. These metrics gauge the efficiency of a customer strategy in acquiring, retaining, and expanding the customer market. These components are explained in the following paragraphs. So, what is the procedure here? The first procedure is customer acquisition. Evaluation of customer acquisition involves both subjective and objective measures. Subjectively, one can assess customer readiness for the acquisition process. Objectively, tools such as lead per channel customer contact rate, response rate, websites visits, new customer profitability, sales success rate can provide a more concrete analysis. So, customer acquisition means you are acquiring a customer, or one of the customers, you are getting a new customer. So, this evaluation of how do you evaluate the customer acquisition? So, it involves both subjective and objective analysis. Now, what are the objective? In the subjective analysis, it includes assess customer readiness for the acquisition process. Now, what about the objective analysis? So, you can have the customer contact rate, response rate, website visit, profitability, success rate, etc. Then, second one is customer retention. The assessment can be subjective for customer retention, considering the customer's readiness to engage in the retention process. So, alternatively, objective tools include delivery rate, retention rate, response time, and real-time resolution of complaints, cleared trouble tickets, rejection of date by delivery, and customer churn rate offer quantifiable metrics for analysis. So, in this customer retention, again we have subjective and objective analysis. Now, in this we have the subjective tools, we have the customer's readiness to engage in the retention process. For the objective tools, we have the delivery rate, retention rate. So, what is the rate of retention of the company? Response time, the real-time resolution of complaints, how long the company has taken to solve the customer's complaints, cleared trouble tickets, so how many trouble tickets the company has cleared, rejection of date by delivery. So, the company had promised a date for delivery, but then later on it was rejected, and customer churn rate offer quantifiable metrics for analysis. Now, the next one is customer expansion. So, in the context of customer expansion, the subjective evaluation relies on the customer's readiness for the expansion process. So, for the objective measurement, tools encompass the share of the wallet, cross-sell rate, upsell rate, ratio of core customers, and the value of the orders. So, for this, again, for the subjective analysis, we can take into consideration the customer's readiness for the customer expansion process. Now, for this, for the objective rate, we have to analysis, we have to take care of the cross-sell rate, upsell rate, ratio of core customers, and the value of the orders. So, these objective metrics provide more concrete and measurable assessment of customer expansion efforts. Then next we have the infrastructure. The infrastructure perspective is intricately divided into four components, namely information technology, human capital, strategic alignment, and culture. So when we talk about infrastructure with relation to CRM, it involves four elements. One is the information technology, second one is the human capital, third one is strategic alliance, and fourth one is culture. So each component is equipped with its own set of diagnostic factors and a combination of subjective and objective instruments for assessment. Now let us see what is this about the IT CRM technology. The assessment of the CRM technology involves subjective measures such as the quality of the system information and system usability. So, the assessment of the CRM technology involves subjective measures such as quality of the system information and system usability. Objective evaluation criteria includes technological capacity concerning three customer types, accuracy of customer information, and system stability. So, when we analyze the IT tools, so we can see that for the objective criteria, we have the technological capacity about the three customer types, accuracy of customer information, and system stability. Then, second aspect is human capital. Human capital includes an organization's workforce, collective skills, knowledge, and ability. So, human capital, in other words, it is the human resource of the organization and includes the collective skills of the employees, the knowledge, and the abilities. It includes employee behavior, employee satisfaction, management attitude. Employee behavior shapes workplace culture. Satisfaction reflects the level of contentment among the employees, and management attitude significantly influences the overall leadership and atmosphere within the organization. So, addressing these aspects thoughtfully can contribute to a positive and thriving work environment. So, these aspects are explained in the following pages. Then next we have the employee behavior. So, it refers to employees' actions, conduct, and performance within the workplace. So, employee behavior is one of the aspects of human capital. So, all the employees' actions, conduct, and the performance will have an influence in the workplace. It encompasses how employees interact with their colleagues, carry out their tasks, adhere to company policies, and contribute to the overall work environment. Positive employee behavior is often associated with productivity, teamwork, and a healthy organizational culture. So, positive employee behavior is often associated with productivity. So, how productive? If he is a highly productive person, then teamwork and healthy organizational culture. Then, second aspect of the human capital is employee satisfaction. So, employee satisfaction measures how content or fulfilled employees feel in their roles within the organization. It considers various factors such as job responsibilities, work environment, compensation, benefits, and opportunities for professional development. So, any organization where a lot of employees are working, so employee satisfaction comes from the following factors. So, what is the job responsibility each of them have? What is the work environment? What is the compensation paid? What are the benefits he is having? And what are the opportunities for professional development? High employee satisfaction is generally linked to increased moral, productivity, and employee retention. Then, the third aspect of human capital is management attitude. So, management attitude refers to the mindset, approach, and demeanor of the leadership within an organization. It encompasses how managers interact with the employees, handle challenges, communicate expectations, and support the workforce. A positive management fosters a healthy work environment, employee engagement, and effective leadership. Then next we have the strategic alignment. So in the strategic alignment, it refers to the harmonious integration of CRM initiatives with the organizational overall strategic objectives and goals. So how you are aligning the CRM initiatives with the organization strategies. So it ensures that CRM activities, processes, and technologies align and support the broader business strategy. It includes training, reward system, organizational structure. Then the next we have the training. So in the strategic alignment, we have training. It involves providing employees with the knowledge, skills, and competencies required to use CRM tools and implement CRM strategies effectively. So, proper training should be given to the employees in order to see that they know how to make the best use of the CRM tools. For successful CRM strategic alignment, employees need to be trained on the usage and significance of the CRM system. So it ensures that employees across different departments understand how CRM contributes to the overall business strategy. It includes educating them on customer-centric practices, data entry, and using CRM insights for decision making. Then next we have the reward system. So the reward system includes methods and incentives an organization uses to recognize and reinforce desired behaviors and outcomes among its employees. So whenever the employee achieves something, so whenever he has reached the target, so he should be awarded or rewarded for his feat. So what is the reward system the company is giving to the employees? Aligning the reward system with CRM goals is crucial. If the organization emphasizes the importance of customer satisfaction, loyalty, and effective use of CRM tools, the reward system should recognize and incentivize employees who contribute to these objectives. Then the next one is the organizational structure. It defines how tasks and responsibilities are distributed and coordinated within the organization. So organizational structure means you are having the structure, that is, you are creating departments within the company, and within each department you are creating a hierarchy of positions. So in order to see that the work of the each department gets done in a proper way and in a planned way. It plays a pivotal role in CRM alignment. A structure that supports cross-functional collaboration and communication is essential for effective CRM implementation. For instance, a flatter organization structure that facilitates quick decision making and information flow is often conducive to CRM initiatives. Now we have the different types of organization structure. That is a pyramid type where we have the different levels of the organization. But if it is a flatter structure, then you can see that the communication will be more free if it is a flatter structure, and it will facilitate a quick decision making. Information flow is conducive to the CRM initiatives. Clear roles and responsibilities ensure employees understand and contribute to the CRM goals. Then next aspect is the culture. As a part of the CRM, that is the customer relationship management system, culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors within an organization that influence how employees interact with customers and approach customer-centric initiatives. So culture means you expect how the employees to behave. So you just tell them what is the exact way they should interact with the customers. So the culture can include partnership, market orientation, explicit goals. They are explained in the following paragraphs. So the first one is partnership. Partnership refers to collaborative efforts between an organization, its various stakeholders including customers, suppliers, and other business partners. There can be subjective and objective measurements for partnership also. So what is the subjective measurement here? That is the coordinating effort. It involves assessing the effectiveness of the collaborative efforts based on the perceived level of coordination among the partners. So it includes factors such as communication, cooperation, and synergy in working towards the shared objective. So there should be proper communication, cooperation, and synergy when they are working for the common objective. Second one, in this we have the objective measurement. So, or we call it is the vendor diversity. Here the focus is on quantifiable metrics related to vendor variety and diversity. It includes analyzing number of different vendors, assessing their capabilities, and ensuring a diverse supplier base. So in vendor diversity, you analyze the different number of types of vendors and assess what is the capability of each vendor, and also ensure that you have a diverse supplier base. Then second one is market orientation. Market orientation involves aligning the organization's strategies and activities with the market and its customers' needs and preferences. The evaluation is subjective or objective. Now, what is the subjective measurement? It refers to the organizational perception and understanding of the market. It involves assessing how well the company aligns its strategies with market needs, customer expectations, industry trends based on subjective judgment. Then we have the objective measurement here, that is frequency of customer survey and knowledge creation. It involves more tangible metrics such as customer frequency to objectively gather market insights. Additionally, the objectives measurement includes creating the collected data about business market. Then next we have the explicit goals. It refers to clearly defined objectives related to the customer relationship management. It involves setting specific targets and outcomes that align with the broad business goals. Then what are the subjective measurement here? In the subjective measurement, it considers how well defined and understood the goals are within the organization. Here for the objective measurement, objectively measuring the alignment of goals towards the business involves assessing whether the stated goals align with the overarching business objectives. It includes analyzing key performance indicators and milestones to ensure alignment. Next, we have the CRM metrics. Now, what is the CRM metrics? So, effective management of customer relationship is essential for business success, and CRM metrics play a pivotal role in evaluating and optimizing these efforts. So, key CRM metrics includes customer acquisition, which helps associated with obtaining new customers, customer lifetime value, providing insights in the long-term revenue potential of a customer, and churn rate, indicating the percentage of customers who discontinue their relationship with the company. So when we are referring to CRM metrics, so we have three aspects, that is the CAC, the customer acquisition, then we have the customer lifetime value, and then we have the churn rate. Additionally, metrics like customer satisfaction and a net promoter score measure how customers' overall sentiment and loyalty. Then the number of leads generated, conversion rates, and the velocity of the sales pipeline are so crucial that CRM metrics for evaluating the effectiveness of the sales and the marketing strategies. So for whatever the sales and marketing strategies, so if you can have the CRM metrics like the CAC, CLV and the CSAT, they will help in analyzing how the customers having a relationship with the business. By tracking these metrics, businesses gain a comprehensive understanding of their customer interactions and can make data-driven decisions to enhance customer experiences and drive sustainable growth. Then, the importance of CRM metrics, it lies in the ability to provide actionable insights for businesses to strengthen customer relationships, optimize operational processes, and drive revenue growth. CAC and CLV help make informed decisions about resource allocation and marketing strategies, ensuring a healthy return on the investment. So when we have the various metrics, that is the CAC, the customer acquisition, then we have the CLV and CSAT, then we have the NPS. So all these metrics, when we get all the numbers, they will help in realizing whether we are having a success of the marketing strategy or not. And it will also help us in taking decisions like resource allocation. So what is the resource allocation? What are the marketing strategies? Ensuring a healthy return on investment. Churn rate metrics allow companies to identify and address issues impacting the customer retention. So, next, customer satisfaction metrics such as CSAT and NPS guide businesses in enhancing their products and services based on the customer feedback. Now, we also have the CSAT and we also have the NPS. So, they will be, with the help of these scores, we'll be able to understand the customer feedback. Tracking leads and conversion rates enable a deeper understanding of the sales funnel, allowing for targeted improvements. Overall, CRM metrics empower organizations to quantify the success of the customer-centric initiatives and identify areas for improvement and align the strategies with the customer needs, ultimately fostering long-term customer loyalty and sustained business success. So when we know exactly what the numbers are telling about the CSAT and the NPS, we will be able to see that we provide the customer with a better product, and in the long run, whatever the strategies we are having, they are in tune with the customer's needs. And when we do this over a long period, we can be assured of customer loyalty and sustained business success. So when you have customer loyalty, you can be assured about the success of the business. So with this, we come to the end of this session. Hope you have all followed it. Thank you.